the Digital Communications Commission approved the bulk of the TRAI recommendations on May 17th. It was anticipated that the following week the cabinet will take it up for approval and grant its nod. It was supposed to be just a matter of procedure, but more than 3 weeks after the DCC decision, the cabinet nod is still awaited. Now, while the DCC made a whole host of decisions on spectrum pricing, holding period, etc., there was one issue that has stood out as being particularly prickly. The DCC disagreed with the TRAI recommendations and decided to auction spectrum for captive networks. Now, what has followed is heated debate with the auction hanging in the balance. Now, the decision by the DCC has been vehemently opposed by the big tech industry bodies, who have unequivocally expressed their disappointment and asked the DoT to reconsider. Among the industry bodies that have written to the DoT are the ITU Apt Foundation and the Broadband India Forum, or BIF. Now, the BIF members include the likes of Google, Meta, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Cisco, TCS. The list goes on, but you get the drift here. The big tech heavyweights are against this move. But why is the auctioning of spectrum such a tricky issue? Well, big tech companies are arguing that to realize the digital potential, it is critical to allocate spectrum at nominal rates or free of cost. They are arguing that buying spectrum at the reserve prices would make it unviable for private networks. They further argue that varied sectors, the likes of auto, manufacturing, healthcare, mining, utilities, ports, are looking at captive 5G networks, and that the DoT is promoting the interests of the telecom sector at the expense of the other sectors. Big tech is telling the government that the move will hurt India's digital mission and hurt India's global competitiveness. Now, the telcos, however, couldn't disagree more. The industry body COAI has written a strongly worded letter to the telecom minister, where they have argued that if spectrum is allocated to private networks, no business case will remain to take the effort of rolling out 5G networks. They argue that barely any 5G revenue is expected to come from the retail segment. The letter cautions that the 5G revenue will come primarily from the enterprise segment, and therefore telcos are arguing that this will severely hurt the sector's financial health. In this context, the telcos have asserted that there is no justification whatsoever for allocation of spectrum to private networks. And as per the telcos, this will hurt not just the sector, but will also cause a huge revenue loss to the exchequer. And there, the telcos are fully equipped to provide enterprise solutions sought by the industry. And let's not forget one key issue that's not been spoken of here: the Supreme Court's landmark 2G verdict of 2012. It has guided the actions of DoT since then. The order held that auction was the ideal way to distribute spectrum. The government, in light of all of these factors, clearly has a difficult choice on its hands.